Welcome to Gentle Restorative. We're starting this class in child's pose, Balasana. So come on down to your mat. Knees are wide. Your hips are pushing back toward the heels. If you want a prop right now, you can grab one or, perhaps your blanket as a pillow for your head. But just want you to slowly melt your way down to the earth. You might want to do a little wiggling just to kind of loosen up, relax the shoulders down. And then once you think you're settled, I want you to wiggle a little bit more. Get super comfortable. And then give me a deep inhale and a really loud exhale. So this class is really about starting things off right. We finally just got out of 2020. It's not going to matter when you're watching this on YouTube. Everything I'm going to talk about today is still going to be completely relevant and appropriate, and you can start it at whatever point in time, but I thought we needed a little kickoff. And so we're going to pull something from the reservoirs of yoga themes that we've done quite a while back. And we're going to mix that with a conversation about Saraswati, who is a Hindu goddess. We'll talk about why you might want to invoke her, especially in the activity we're doing. And by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, pause right now, go grab a pen and a piece of paper, which I will have put in the instructions anyway. I just want you to settle into child's pose for a moment. Breathing in peace. And then I just want you to visualize that you are covering yourself in a blanket of gratitude. No matter what's going on in your life, a blanket of gratitude. What color do you see that blanket being? Remember, whatever color you're drawn to, associate it with its chakra, and then that might give you a little insight as to which part of the body needs you really to send it your gratitude. Could be mental, doesn't have to be physical. All right, giving you a moment to see that color. And then go ahead and walk the hands all the way over to the left as far as you can go in twisted child's pose. And then walk it back through center all the way to the right. And then back to center again, slowly walking the hands in so that you can sit up, and you can either stay perched on your heels if you want or find a more comfortable position. It doesn't matter. And we're going to inhale the arms up, exhale to the heart. And here, not only do I want you to pause to set your intention for your practice, but will you please add in a sentence of gratitude? When you're done, go ahead and release the hands. Inhale them up. Interlace the fingers, palms to the earth, big stretch. And then release the hands back down to the heart. Fabulous. All right, if you were still perched on your heels, come on down. Let's go ahead and take the legs open in a V. Whew, that feels tight this morning. Go ahead and wiggle it out a little bit. You know, kind of meander in front of the sit bones. All right, Saraswati. Her Sanskrit name breaks up into Saras and then Vati. So Saras means pooling water, but it also has been translated into the word speech. Both are important in talking about her. And then Vati means one who possesses. So one who possesses this pooling water or speech. She is the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, nature, creativity, music. And so where I want to kind of take her conversation is towards you thinking about her in a creative way that's going to tie in with the exercise that we're going to do. And I don't mean physical exercise. All right, go ahead, sit back up. Let's take the arms up, interlace the fingers, turn the palms to the ceiling, gaze upwards, flex the feet, push the backs of the thighs down, palms up, big inhale, exhale the arms down. I'm still keeping the tension I set up in the legs. I'm still actively pushing down, feet are flexed, left arm up, side bend to the right. Okay, so you hang out here. Why is it important that she is associated with this pool of water? So there was a river, you could say is a river, we can argue either point, an ancient river called the Saraswati River. It has long ago, it began to dry up, so it started forming little pools, and so that's why I said you could argue it's still a river if you want to. So she's associated with the idea that water is not only cleansing and purifying, but it just has this ability to kind of help you separate. I almost want to say separate, period. Like I was going to say good from evil or kind of knowledge from untruths, but I'll let you kind of fill in the blank. She is the daughter of Shiva and Durga. You'll see her sometimes depicted with 4 arms and sometimes 2. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let me get you out of this side bend. I knew where you were. Come on back up. Release that left arm. Before we go to the other side, left hand in front, right hand behind. Inhale your length. Exhale. Gentle twist to the right. All right, so as the story goes, Saraswati was originally married to Vishnu, but he had so many wives, he gave her to Brahma. Brahma has 4 heads. And so when you see Saraswati depicted with 4 arms, they're representing Brahma's 4 heads as well. The 4 heads / 4 arms represent the 4 ways that humans learn. So wait, take an inhale here. Exhale, release. Perfect. Right arm up. Side bend to the left. And so it represents manas, your mind or your intellect, or buddhi represents the intellect. So mind and intellect / reasoning. And hold on, I'm thinking, I just lost my train of thought when I backed myself up. Consciousness / ego. And I know this, chitta, imagination, creativity. And so those are the 4 ways that we learn and gain wisdom. She is totally the goddess of wisdom. And so I want you to think about tapping into your inner wisdom on and off the mat as we kind of meander through the sequence and talk a little bit more about why we might want to chant a mantra for Saraswati. All right, inhale your way up, release the arm. Right hand in front, left behind, sit up nice and tall, take that twist to the left. Maybe one more deep breath. And then slowly release that twist. Draw the legs into cobbler. If you want props under your legs, go ahead and grab them. Slide my blocks under. Just to make this a very peaceful place to sit. Okay, why the pen and paper? So if you've been with me a while, we've done this probably 2 or 3 different times. We are going to write our own gratitude check. And I'm thinking that because last year, which was only a couple days ago, wasn't particularly fabulous, that we really need to set the mood for this coming year. And how that ties into Saraswati is this. I do believe that writing down what you would like to happen, it's kind of like a vision board, and it sets that vibration out into the universe. However, I also believe that you need to do a little bit of work to help that manifest. And so we are going to tie in this idea of gratitude checks with Saraswati's wisdom and creativity. How creative can you get this year so that whatever you're about to write down is going to manifest? So close your eyes, because we need to think about this for a moment. We need to think about what it is we want to write down on that check. So if you're thinking like a bank check, you've got the right picture in your head, but it doesn't have to be a dollar amount. It could be, you could be hoping, you come into money this year, but it could be something totally different. It could be health. It could be a new job, whatever it is, anything. Sky's the limit. Start thinking. I'll be quiet. If you're totally drawing a blank, I want you to take your focus to your breath, because maybe something will just organically pop into your head. Okay. Do you have it? So slowly open your eyes. Let's release our legs from cobbler so that we're in an easier seated stance. And if you have a block, bring it out in front of you. That can be your table. And then it's truly no coincidence that Saraswati is associated with creating, pens. She actually gives pens to Ganesh so that he can do his writing. If you recall from Ganesh's story, he broke off his tusk to do some writing of ancient texts because he didn't have a pen. So if you're holding a pen right now, you can thank Saraswati for that. Okay, you got your piece of paper in front of you. If you want to go ahead and draw a big rectangle so it looks like a check, you can. I'll attach a link with the YouTube video of a check you can print out and fill in if you prefer. So in the date, I don't want you to put today's date. I really want you to think about this. I want you to put the date that you are hoping, whatever you're wishing for, manifests. So, for example, I'm starting to really lose my patience with the lack of health in my family. And so I'm not sure how much more I can take. So I'm putting mine only about a month out. I need something to change. So for me, that's the date I would put, a month out from today's current date. You put whatever you want. If you're thinking, I am giving 2021 time to work its magic, Maybe you're going to put December 31st, 2021. So you do you. And then, of course, make the check out to yourself, please. You can put, oh, great one as well in front of your name or after, either way. And then where you would write, the little box where you'd put the numbers for your dollar amount, if you are trying to manifest money and you have an amount in mind, go ahead, write it there. If it's something else, like I'm thinking about health, I'm just in that little box going to write health. On the next line, where you write out in cursive the dollar amount, I'm going to be a little bit more specific about my health intentions. So that's what I want you to fill in. And then once you've done that, in the little memo spot, I'll let you kind of put what you want. You could put something like, thank you, universe. You could put gratitude. You could put Om Shanti. Whatever you want to put there that kind of adds a positive energy, that's what you should put. If you want to put Saraswati, it's Saraswati. And then please, please, please don't forget to sign that check. However, you can sign it. Well, you're asking the universe to fulfill this. So I would sign it the universe, but you could put your own name if you want to. We are going to work so closely with the universe on this one. You could put both. Because I'm relying on your tapping into your creativity, your inner wisdom, and that's why we're going to channel Saraswati. We'll do a little chanting today. All right, you got that check filled out? Okay. So what you do with it after class is up to you. You carry it in your wallet or your purse, put it somewhere safe in a little box, put some crystals on it. Totally up to you. Just for right now, move it aside. It could be off your mat. If you want to tuck it under your mat, so you're kind of creating an energy with it, that's fine too. All right, let's come on down onto our stomachs. Plant the hands just behind the shoulders. Elbows are straight back. And then I want you to notice if the shoulders are kind of caressing your neck. And if they are, can you slide them down in a way so the neck lengthens out? And here, I'm just kind of moving left to right. We're just warming up the spine. Come back to center. Lift a couple inches. Soften it back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. We're not going very far. Give me one more. And then I'm going to bring my forehead to the earth. Left hand is reaching back for that left foot to draw it in. If you need your strap to grab onto, loop it around the ankle so you have something to hold on to, you could use that. As always, if you can't reach your foot, don't worry about it. Hand reaches towards the foot, foot reaches towards the hand. Okay, gently let go. Let's do the other side. And then gently release. Go ahead, slowly push your way up into table. And I want to open up the hips here. So shift your weight into the right knee and go ahead and make circles with that left. And just kind of switch directions when you feel like it. Just see if we can warm up the hips. And then bring that knee back down. We're going to inhale to cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to neutral spine, same leg. We're working with the left leg. I just want you to open that knee straight out to the side. And bring it back down. And open it. And bring it back down. Fabulous. Now take that left foot, stretch it way out behind you, toes on the earth, push back into the heel. Deep inhale. Loud exhale. And then come back to table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Release the spine, shift the weight into that left knee, and then make your circles with the right leg. Slowly bring that knee back down. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Neutral spine. Working with the right leg still, just open that knee straight out to the side. Exhale it down. Inhale, open. Exhale it down. Send that right leg out behind you. Push into the heel. And come back to table. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. Couple of strong breaths here. And then bring the knees back down to the earth. Pause here for a second. What I'm suggesting is you might want to grab your blanket. You don't have to, but if you have knee issues, I would grab your blanket. And I'm just going to take an edge of that blanket and put it right over my left calf. So it's right up against my knee here. And then I'm hanging onto that blanket. I'm going to bring this leg forward. I'm stretching out that right leg and I'm trying to sit back onto the left heel. So if you don't like this or your knee doesn't like this, you can change it up. If you prefer pigeon, you could go there as well. If this is just really awful on the knees, what I would prefer you do is do it upside down. So the right leg would be extended and you'd be hugging that left knee in. Okay? So why are we doing this pose? Well, let me tell you. Come down into a fold if you're staying here. Get a little bit more comfortable. So in yin, this is called swan. And as you know from our previous discussions, all of the Hindu deities have a vehicle upon which they ride. You want to guess what Saraswati's is? Go ahead, say swan. You got it. Yes, it's a swan. Some stories say it's a goose, but I kind of prefer swan. The reason she's more often depicted with a swan is because Saraswati is always in white. She's dressed in white. She carries a white lotus. She has the white swan. She represents purity. You will also see usually near her a peacock. That is not her mode of transportation. That's her assistant. How cool is that? So that's why we're doing swan pose. So I'm going to just let you marinate there for a moment. Follow the breath. Yeah, a couple more breaths. And then we'll slowly go ahead and push our way back up towards the table. And you can slide that blanket over if you're using it. Move the right knee forward and send the left leg back. If you're lying on your back, you simply need to switch legs. So in the 4 hands that Saraswati has, I'll tell you what she's generally holding. I was looking at my statue here to see if mine correlates, only kind of, because actually with my statue, she's holding one of the objects in both hands. So, but typically she's holding in one hand a book, and that book symbolizes the Vedas, which represent universal, divine, eternal knowledge. And then in another hand, she's holding malas, crystal mala. And so that represents meditation, the power of meditation, and inner reflection, spirituality. And so that inner reflection kind of goes along with where we're trying to head in this yoga theme. And so in her third hand, which in my statue, she's holding it with 2 hands actually, is her musical instrument. It's called a veena. Remember that it does come up in Trivial Pursuit. I am not kidding you. It's an ancient Indian instrument, veena. And excuse me. And then in her other hand, she's usually holding like a pot of water. And I kind of was leading towards this before. The water represents purification. It's separating right from wrong, good from evil, truth from untruth. Some stories say that it's not water, it's soma, which is a drink that liberates you, leads to ultimate knowledge. And her veena, that instrument she's playing, that's a representation for all of the creative arts. So, painting, writing, whatever you like to do. If you are a creative person and you have like a block, you might want to appeal to Saraswati. Take a couple more breaths where you're at. And then slowly make your way back up into table. Move that blanket if you're using it. Tuck the toes. Give me one more downward facing dog right here, and then I promise a restorative, really restorative pose. I mean, swan's restorative, but not if your knees don't think so. All right, deep inhale, loud exhale. And go ahead and walk the feet forward toward the hands. I can hear you right now. She said restorative. Go ahead, find forward fold, Uttanasana. I am. I'm just turning you around a little bit. Hang out right here. We're going to lengthen the spine to monkey, Ardha Uttanasana. Soften back down, bend into the knees, and sit down on the mat. See, now we're facing in the right direction. All right, grab your bolster. I'm starting to think I might have had too much coffee this morning for a restorative class. I feel very chatty and hyper, and even more chatty because nobody's responding to me in an empty room, so sorry. Take that bolster behind you. Let's prop it up highest height. Grab that blanket. Sit back so the sacrum's touching your bolster. Peacefully lay back. And then I'm going to just take this blanket and put it across the hips. So just a little added weight, pressing down. Close your eyes here. Perfect. Let go. What I want you to envision with your eyes closed, I want you to see that check you wrote. So in your head, see where you placed it. I know you know where it is in reference to where you are, so just see it there. I want you to imagine that you can visualize a vibration coming up off of that piece of paper. It is as though we have started something. Well, we have, but something is starting to manifest. An energy is being created. And I want you to see it getting stronger and stronger. And where I want you to take that energy, that vibration you're seeing from that piece of paper, that check you wrote, I want you to see it now mingling, coming towards you, and almost as though it has fingers coming out of that vibration, tentacles. Make sure there are not 5, but 7. I almost want like a strand of that energy going to each of your chakras. So one goes to the crown, one goes to the third eye, one goes to the throat, one to the heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. Now let's get a really strong connection with whatever we just put out there. And you can totally use the power of your mind to make that vibration as intense and strong as you want it to be. You can invoke colors. You could add positive affirmations in your head, mantras. Remember, a mantra doesn't have to be in Sanskrit. You can make it up in English. It can be whatever you need it to be. And can you see that that energy has a flow to it? It's flowing from the piece of paper to you. And now there's this interconnection. So perhaps your energy is flowing back through those strands down into the check, right? This idea of flow is important. Saraswati is as heavily connected with the symbolism of water and a river as she is with anything else I said. And so use that image in your head to really feel the strength. You know, a river has strength, a waterfall has strength. I want you to feel that. I want to give you another minute to just focus on that. If you feel like you have trouble visualizing, don't get frustrated. Just be present, follow the breath. If you can't visualize the check next to you, pick it up, put it on your heart. It's okay. Just don't get frustrated. We don't need to bring that in to our yoga space, right? Okay, deep inhale, hold the breath. Exhale. I'm going to set my blanket off to the side. I'm going to plant my feet, bending the knees. Reach the hands forward, grab the knees, and use them to pull you up. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Find your seated cat-cow here when you're ready. Enjoy and embrace and offer gratitude to the bolster when it catches your low back. I mean, I think it feels really good. Inhale, sit up tall. So the swan that Saraswati uses as her vehicle has its own symbolism and importance. It is said that if you were to offer her swan a bowl of milk and water mixed together, her swan has the ability to drink out only the milk. And why that's important is because, again, we have this idea of being able to separate good from evil, truth from untruth, and that also represents liberation, moksha, which takes me to what I want you to think about when we get in our next restorative pose is what's holding you back. Because we want that moksha. We want to liberate ourselves. So we will come back to that question in a moment. Give me one more seated cat-cow. Perfect. When you're back up, go ahead and stretch the legs out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. If you're feeling tight, bend the knees. You might even slide your blanket underneath them. And we're going to hinge forward and do a gentle fold. You might want to just work your way down carefully. And then gently come on back up. All right, let's move that blanket out from under the knees if you had it there. And then I'm turning around just to turn my bolster across my mat. We will find ourselves in a very happy, supported back bend. And if you need to make it happier, then use your blanket or your block as a pillow, so you don't have to lean all the way back. Stretch out the legs when you get here, shoulders. Find their way towards the earth. You can do whatever you want to with the arms. And then give me a happy sigh right here. So before you let your head go to, okay, what's holding me back? I want to just tell you something about the peacock that is her assistant. Peacocks generally they're known to eat snakes. And I want you to think about the venom that's associated with a snake. And I also want you to see the colorful plumage of the male peacock. Sorry, the females aren't quite as colorful. See those colors in your head. Maybe even start to associate some of those colors with the chakras. And how the symbolism of the peacock is to release that inner, I'm going to call it an inner venom. It's what is holding us back. Whatever is holding us back from manifesting what is on that piece of paper, we're going to consider that to be symbolically a poison that we need to be rid of. And so the peacock symbolizes, with that all the beautiful colors, our way toward inner enlightenment. So now I want you to think about what's holding you back. And when you've got it in your grasp, bring out that peacock, the beautiful colors. Maybe you see the sun reflecting off of, you know how their feathers kind of have that, I don't know, luminescent isn't really the word I'm looking for. But you know what I mean, right? It has that effect to it. And maybe use that shimmer to just kind of beam the thought away that holds you back. We want to get rid of it. We're looking for liberation from it right here today on our yoga mats. So if you're happy here, you can stay here a little bit longer. If you're not quite as content as you were when we first got here, just go ahead and bend one leg and slowly use that as leverage to roll over onto your stomach. And as you do, just shift a little so the hips are on the bolster. So, perfect. So we created the arch in the spine in the first direction, and now we're allowing the spine a little relief from that. So like I said, if you want to stay in the back bend, you can stay there, and I'll kind of tell you when to join us on our stomachs. All right, if you're still in your back bend, go ahead and roll over. Get something underneath the hips if you can. And then when you're ready, we're going to take this to exactly where we started our class from, which was child's pose. I'm going to leave the bolster there so my forehead can rest on it. And then staying here in Balasana for a moment, what I was visualizing for me, which you might enjoy or embrace as well, I was kind of envisioning that I had my own fan of peacock feathers on my back. And I was seeing that in the way that I knew when I sat back up that those feathers protruding out from behind me would kind of let any negativity bounce off of them. Those limitations we were talking about, they'd bounce off. They wouldn't have a choice. And so I was kind of thinking about that as kind of a tool for strength. You could use it in meditation if you want, or having a tough time, just to visualize your brilliant display of feathers. And then give me a deep inhale, loud exhale. And go ahead and make your way back up. Any seated pose. Move Saraswati over here so you kind of see her. All right, sitting up nice and tall. Lengthen through the neck. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale the head to center. Turn to look over the right shoulder. Make sure that right shoulder is heavy. Drop it away from you. Keep the head in this direction. Just try to lower the chin down. Now make sure that left shoulder gets heavy. A little added stretch there, right? And then drop the head as it slowly comes back to center so the chin is down toward the collarbone. Pull the shoulders back. And then slowly bring the head back up to center. Turn the head to look over the left shoulder. Keep facing the left, but drop the chin down. And then dropping the head down to center. Pull the shoulders back a little. And on an inhale, bring the head back up. Perfect. Now, close your eyes. As always, if you're not comfortable chanting, you can do it in your head or you can just listen. But let's talk about one of the mantras for Saraswati. I think it's relatively easy, so don't let the mind get crazy on me. Guess what it starts with? Yes, I heard somebody yell it from the background, Om. So our first word is Om. The second two words are bija, seed sounds that are associated with Saraswati. The first one is shreem, shreem, S-H-R-E-E-M, shreem. Just go ahead and let that roll off your tongue. It's a fun word to say, right? Shreem. So we have Om, shreem. Our third word, which is a bija seed sound, is hreem. It's H-R-E-E-M, hreem. Om, shreem, hreem. And then Saraswati, Saraswati. Often in the mantra, the name will change at the end to an A sound. So instead of Saraswati, it's Saraswati. And then Namaha. We know Namaha, right? I bow to. Om, shreem, hreem, Saraswati, Namaha. Perfect. All right, clear that throat chakra. And let's just do call and response so you can echo what you hear from me. And we'll see how we get through this. Om. Your turn. Shreem. Hreem. Saraswati. Namaha. Okay, good job. Om Shreem Hreem Saraswati Namaha. I'll do this one with you. Om Shreem Hreem Saraswati Namaha. Good job. Om Shreem Hreem Saraswati Namaha. Your turn. I'm smiling because I know you nailed it. Fine. Let's do it 3 more times together, and we'll end with an Om. Deep breath in. Om Shreem Hreem Saraswati Namaha. Om Shreem Hreem Saraswati Namaha. Om Shreem Hreem Saraswati Namaha. Om. And just drop the head for a moment and sit in silence. I know you to be creative and wise. I know you can tap into that inner wisdom to pull out whatever you need to manifest what you wrote as being important on that gratitude check. Allow my words to be yours. I am grateful for the universe. I am grateful for the power to manifest my dreams. Keep your eyes closed. Bring the head back to center. Deep inhale. Cleansing, exhale. Feeling liberated from that which holds you back. Inhale the arms up and exhale them to your heart. When you're ready, release the hands. Gonna set Saraswati aside. Go ahead and set up your mat for Savasana, however you would like that to be. When you get comfortable, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and let it go. I want you to draw the shoulders down a little bit further. Have the palms facing upward. Make sure the feet and the ankles are relaxed. And as you take your focus to your breath, I want you to connect with your inner power. Each exhale liberates you from anything you need to let go of. Each breath takes you deeper into relaxation, to the power you have in letting go. And begin to notice as the body gets heavier. As you release into relaxation, you are receptive to it. The breath gets softer. The breath gets softer because you accept just being here in the present, releasing into Savasana and allowing what needs to be to be. You'll hear my voice when it's time to come back. Saraswati is a highly revered goddess. That might sound odd, but not all of them are. Many have very small parts, but she is heavily prayed to because many individuals believe that she is the only one who can grant moksha, the final liberation of the soul. So we'll allow her, hopefully, to grant liberation to our manifestation, our dream that we put on that piece of paper, and help that come to fruition with some creativity, knowledge, and inner wisdom. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Invite some movement back into the hands and the feet. And you might choose to stretch out the arms. You might want to hug the knees into the heart. You might want to not move at all. And when you're ready, go ahead and settle on one side or the other in a fetal position. And then peacefully make your way back up. Strong inhale through the nose. Loud exhale through the mouth. Inhale both arms up. Bring the palms together and release them home to your heart in prayer pose. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.